So I got a chance to see Normal, and this was one that I actually didn't really go into too much knowing about because I only saw like a little bit of one of the trailers, and I kind of thought it was going to be like a cross between like Fargo mixed with Nobody and stuff like that. And it definitely has that vibes going for it, but it also feels less like Fargo and more like Nobody mixed in with elements of like Bullet Train and even Hot Fuzz to an extent, but in a fun way. Like this movie was so fun, it was really great with not only a lot of the laughs that come from Odenkirk, but the rest of the cast too that come into play, especially with the deputies that he's in up in the movie because it deals with Odenkirk pretty much playing like a substitute type of sheriff that comes in after a tragedy happens with one of the sheriffs in town, and he's having to pretty much like investigate. He gets involved with a bank robbery that he's trying to take down, and thing, and then not going to go into spoilers, but it gets into some crazy stuff where you're seeing like a lot of double crossing and things like that with a lot of people that are involved, and it certainly doesn't hold back on its brutality in this because there's a lot of like stuff that I was just not expecting. I was like, damn. And this is from the director Ben Wheatley, who also did the not so good Meg 2, but he also did one that I heard was also really good called Free Fire. So it definitely, I do want to check out more of his works because I heard that he's a really great director. And this one just really shows like a lot of the fun level where you're seeing not only the action that's in the style of Nobody, but a little more lighter. But you also get more of the vibes that are kind of like Fargo with the whole winter setting and also kind of small town and everything, and all that. But it also is funny too with a lot of the unexpected stuff where you see where characters die in different ways and stuff, and also the twists and turns that happen throughout that I did kind of see them kind of coming because of the way the movie's premise is going and stuff. But there was also some other things too that I was kind of the way it plays into with some of its things later was unexpected. And so it really got me into it. And then if I did have like really things that do kind of hold the movie back is that it does kind of have a first half that feels like it gets rushed into what we're getting into. And there's also some characters that don't get much quite screen, don't get quite some screen time compared to others because they're kind of just thrown in there and then immediately disappear pretty fast. So I think that was intentional. I know that was probably intentional, but it really felt like there was more they could have really spent more in the writing part with that. But overall, though, this is one that I still had a blast with. And if you're looking for more of the equivalent of like a more Fargo-ish type of movie, kind of like a Nobody and stuff, this is definitely one for you. And Odenkirk just always shows how much of a fun guy he is in a lot of his movies. And so with that, I'm going to give it a compelling grade on the Film Freaks meter.